Hi. I just want to make sure that I'm live, and yes, I am live. How are you? Chodesh Tov. Happy month of Leah. We are in the month of Av. We just started it today, and we have an opportunity. Today as the seed level of the whole month, we have an opportunity to tap into the whole potential of this month. And we know, yes, the first day of Av is the first day of what is considered the most negative period of the year, the 9 days of Av, the first 9 days of Av. But we want to understand that even though energetically it is a time that supposedly we're supposed to connect to a side that is not so happy. Actually, that's what they say. They say that, like, when a Adar starts, you're supposed to be happy. But when Av starts, you're supposed to be not so happy. Like, you need to disconnect from happiness, which sounds like a crazy thing because why? How is it helping anything? Like, why should we be unhappy now? So, first of all, it's not really about being unhappy. It's because, maybe some people will interpret it like that. And of course, it's their right to interpret it as they wish. But the understanding behind this period of time is that the energy is less outside. It's less about, when you're happy, there's an energy about it that is very extroverted, and the energy needs to be more inside. And it's so interesting because today my sister got me those cards, and today it's in Hebrew, so I'll translate it to you. It says that the vision or the view that takes us the furthest, like when we look in a way that takes us the furthest, is the view inside. It's when we look into ourselves, inside of us. And you know that this is really what it's about. It's really about going inside and looking inside. If I try to understand what's happening inside of me, eventually it is going to make me happy. Eventually it is going to lead me to my next level. And this is really what those 9 days are all about. It's 9 days that are considered energetically challenging, but so what are we supposed to do with it? Just suffer? It's not what it's about. It's more about introversion. That's the focus right now. And it's interesting because even though it's the first 9 days I was speaking about, but we have a whole month. We have the first days, but then what about the rest days, the rest 20 days of the month, right? And what we want to understand is that this month, with the energy of Leo, after we do the introverted part, we actually need to move to a big, dramatic, out of the box thinking. What does it mean? We have an opportunity in this month to make our vessel, to make our desires bigger. Now, a lot of times when people are on a spiritual path, and whoever is watching it is, I would assume, right? I'm pretty sure I can be confident to say that all of you are on a spiritual journey, right? So it's like when you're on a spiritual path, a lot of times you think that the physical reality is actually something that is not the spiritual thing. So, which means that, let's say, if I focus on physical things like money, like physical desires, respect, honor, even relationships, right? A lot of times when somebody is in their spiritual journey, they have many times very unnecessary, let's say, beliefs about what they can have on the physical level. And this is a time, and again, in the first 9 days, we're really doing the work of looking inside and asking, wait. Where in my life would I want truthfully to have more, to do more, to enjoy more, to splurge more? But my spiritual side of my consciousness tells me it's not spiritual. What are you looking to do? It's not a spiritual thing to ask for luxury, whatever luxury means for each and every one of us. No, I'm doing it just because I need it or because my family needs it. But in the month of Leo, we have an opportunity to go beyond just what I need. What I need, yes, we can all live on water and bread or whatever, unless you're gluten intolerant, right? But water, bread, and live in a tent. Yeah, but it's not what it's about. Spiritually, many of the spiritual people that are really, pushing themselves spiritually and have the desire to live a spiritual life, in some way, when they go to things that are more physical, when their desires are more physical, what happens? They think it's wrong. They think it's selfish. No, it needs to be that I'm doing it because there's a higher thing to it, not just for my pleasure, not just for my enjoyment. Now, it's true that pleasure itself does not make us happy. It's correct. But to ask for pleasure, to want to have nice things, for instance, to want to have financial freedom, to want to have amazing relationships, to want to have a better feeling body. It's not just because, I really need it for my spirit. No. It's because as I believe that for spiritual purposes, things are kosher, right? What do you mean? I'm doing it for my relationship with the Creator. That's okay. It's also okay. Not only is it okay, we are supposed to enjoy the physical realm. So in the first 9 days of this month, we actually need to sit and think, what are the things that I actually would really want to have that maybe I don't think about it in the day-to-day life. Maybe I'm too humble. One of the things about the Leo energy is that Leo is about thinking in a bigger way. Leo is about wanting to influence, wanting to do things that are, that are beyond the limiting mind. But what happens is that sometimes we forget to focus on it. So it's like the first period, the first 9 days, what we're doing is that we're looking first and asking, as I said, what do I want that I'm afraid to allow myself to want? Now, we can be afraid for different reasons. Many of us are just afraid because we're afraid of failure, we're afraid of rejection, we're afraid of disappointment. Like a lot of times, yeah, I would want to do it, but if it doesn't happen, I'm going to be disappointed. So I prefer not to put too much energy into it. But all those beliefs are actually limiting us in this physical reality, because the whole idea of the physical reality is to understand that we can master that it's all an illusion, that everything is an opportunity for us. Everything is an opportunity to go to the next level. Everything is an opportunity for me to see that my mind can influence my reality. How hard it is to believe it. that I am the co-creator with the creator. I am the one that decides what's going to happen. Today I was listening. I don't remember exactly who they quoted, so I apologize for that. But like somebody asked about relationships, about soulmates. And this person answered, I like he's married very happily. So they asked him, how did you know she's the one? He said, listen, she was close enough. And then I decided that she is the one. I decided that she's the one. When I grew up in Israel, there was one channel on the TV, only one channel. So we would watch, I remember growing up, we would watch like those horrible movies sometimes, right? Bad acting, bad script, like boring. But like we would watch the movie from the beginning till the end. Why? Because there was no option. What am I going to do? What am I going to... And today, with all the channels, I feel like, this one on Netflix, I started for 10 minutes. No, let me move to another one. Let me move to Hulu. Let me move to Apple Plus. A lot of times when we feel that we have so many options, it's something that creates an issue. And I can tell you, even a lot of times when I speak with people that are on dating, hi Kimberly, when people are on dating apps, right? I think that a lot of these dating apps are high. Yeah, the dating apps are really a problem because people go and it's like a buffet. It's like, yeah, this one, and let me start talking to this person, and I'm gonna start talking to this person too, and this person too. And then, like, you feel there's so many options that A, you won't commit, and B, you won't try to make it work. You won't try to fix things. You would just throw it. It's like a lot of things today. It doesn't work. A piece of clothing gets ripped. How many of us really go to the tailor to the seamstress to fix it? Never. Hi, Nina. Never. Never. Most of the time we don't because, okay, I'll buy another one. And why am I saying that? Because when we connect to a desire, we need to be in a place that we say, that's the only option. That's the only thing. That's how I want to connect. That's how I want to live my life. And if in this lifetime I have lessons to learn, I want to learn them. I want to do what I'm supposed to do. And the idea of thinking big, of knowing that I'm really not limited, is a very, very powerful opportunity in this month. I want to talk about something also that is very related to the energy of Leo, which is the energy of desire. And you know that, again, when we're starting with desire, with thinking big, with wanting a lot, with not feeling that if I want a lot, it's my ego. I want a lot. It means that it comes from somewhere, that desire. It comes from my soul, my desire. And if I want a lot, the only question is, what am I willing to put into it? That's the only question. And it doesn't have to be difficult, by the way. It can be a work, and it's something that I need to work on within myself. But if I am willing to learn and to be awakened and alert to the process, to change, to see what I need to change, to be willing to do what is required, even on the physical level, what's the problem? Why not? As long as my desire is there, the desire comes from the soul. A desire is something that, like, our soul tells us you can. So open it up. Where thoughts come from? Where do you think thoughts come from? Now, when we talk about will, when we talk about free will, what we have to understand about free will is that the only existence that has free will is the existence on the face of earth. When you're a soul, when you're like out of the physical realm, there's no free will. There's no free will. Why? Because the free will, let's say that I'm in a situation, okay? Let's say that I don't know, between two options of whatever, let's say a house, okay? I have two houses. I'm not sure which one I should pick. Okay, it's a very physical example, but it's okay. You'll forgive me for the physical consciousness today. So I'm thinking in my mind, what's the better thing to do? This house is whatever, it's closer to my family. This house is nicer school wise. This house, like a lot of different information that I can have in both options. Now, at the end of the day, I need to execute my free will. What do I want to do? Now, if I'm in a realm that doesn't, that the truth is always obvious, the world that is not the physical world is called Olam Emet, which is the world of truth. When you're in the world of truth, when the souls are in different realms, different levels, but there's nothing to choose. You always know what you need to do. But on earth, we are given the opportunity to have free will. And it's real. Free will is the real thing. And in every given situation, we choose. Now, a lot of times when I speak about Leo, I'm a Leo myself, right? Leos, a lot of times, would do things to please others. Oh, I want them to love me. I want them to validate me. I want to be appreciated. So a lot of times they're going to feel that they're pushed to do something. I didn't really want to do it, but I didn't want you to be upset, or I wanted not to argue. I just wanted to be a pleaser right now. And the Leo will say yes without really giving it either enough thought or just because, okay, whatever, I'm just going to say yes. And then forget about it. I know Leos that get married like that. Okay, she wants to get married so badly, I'll get married. But a Leo, and I think in this month we all are gonna be looking into that. Leos that are pushed without really, if you have people that are around you that are Leos, or you yourself are a Leo, the consciousness is I choose. Even if I choose because I want to please, I still choose. Even if I choose because I'm not in the mood to give an answer, I choose. The accountability in this month, we're going to have an opportunity to connect to accountability, which means that, but through what? Through choices, through free will, through understanding that we have free will. A lot of times, because we can be very emotional, angry, sad, even sometimes happy, we can make decisions that we don't really choose. A good advice is never to make decisions when you're emotional, no matter what the emotion is. Fear, even happiness, even when you're over, happy. But the consciousness is to understand that at the moment that I said yes, or I went with something, I executed my free choice. Nobody made me do it. And this is a month that we need to actually appreciate the fact that we do have free will. We always are in a place of choice. And the more we understand that, there are signs that more about control. And Leo is one of them. And I can tell you, as the Leo, it's not like we look to control. We just think that, like, we see the picture because the sun is the ruler, right? I see the picture. That's how things should be. I see how things should be. And you should all do what I say because I see what's right. But yeah, it's controlling, right? But even that, why do I control? Why do I think that, like, my opinion is the opinion? Right? Like the work in this month is in and out. First, to check myself why I do things. And Leos love to fix other people's lives. But in this month, it's not generally fixing somebody else's life needs to be done very, very carefully and very, very much with the desire of the other person to be fixed. Trust me, from my own experience, it doesn't work. If the person doesn't want to be fixed, it ain't happening. But the work is also to understand that what I see, what I feel I need to fix others with, in this month, it's about looking into myself inside. Now, I want to say what I said in the beginning when I spoke about that understanding of I want to think big and we need to think big. Humility many times comes from ego. No, I don't want a lot. But it's almost like we need to be in a place that we say, wait a minute, how do I limit something that I really don't know what it can be? When we think about some big people, very famous, very successful, very influential, do you think that they thought? I mean, even if they wanted, many of them didn't think that this is where they're going to get. And the understanding that I need to constantly want to be more, to do more, to have more. There's no problem with that. Because when I want more, in a lot of spiritual religions, however we want to call it, or modalities, a lot of desires are the cause for our pain, right? Like, if somebody wants a lot or they don't have, it causes jealousy, it causes pain. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about going almost like against my thinking small, against my feeling that, like, yeah, I mean, that's what it is. It's not about looking at somebody else's thing or constantly feeling until I don't have what I want, I'm going to have such a strong pain. No. In the big picture, it's about saying, I'm allowing my mind to not limit me. I don't know how many people I should influence. I don't know how much I can do and have. So to allow the freedom, and when we allow the freedom of thought, of course, it has to be done first by checking why maybe it's comfortable for me to be in the little, in my little world with my comfort zone, to check what are the real reasons that I don't allow myself to shine. I want to talk about first of all, I want to let you know that in about 2 weeks from now, on the 11th, so it's a little less than 2 weeks, On the 11th at night, August 11th, we're going to celebrate the love, the Valentine's Day of the Hebrew calendar. It's it's the 15th of the month of Av. I am going to have a seminar, and I'm going to put more details soon. But what I want you to know is that the work that I'm going to focus on in that seminar is work of first self love, real self love, and how to achieve real self love. Because we can achieve relationships and sometimes we can't, but in the big picture, for a relationship to really be good and successful, and for me to be able to feel the love of others, the first thing that I need to do or learn is to love myself. Because when I love myself, two things are happening. One is I want good for myself. And I'm gonna, by me wanting good, I am sending an energy out there of good things come to me, good people come to me, good opportunities come to me, career opportunities, a good job, anything, a good health, even. When I want good for myself, because I really love myself and I really know that I deserve good, that's the first step to attracting everything, and especially a soulmate into my life. So, we're going to talk about the signs, we're going to talk about each sign and what's their work on the way to self love. And I'm also going to give you some kind of a workshop that you can really go deeper and check what's going on with those beliefs in your mind regarding your entitlement of being loved, especially by yourself, right? So it's like this is something in the calendar that I want to let you know. And the other thing is that we have a few alignments. I just wanted not to forget, so I wrote it down to myself. So first of all, Jupiter just went into retrograde yesterday, Thursday, and when Jupiter is in retrograde, it gives us an amazing opportunity to go inside. It's so interesting that it happening. The beginning of it is happening in the 9 days where we're supposed to look inside. And the energy of Jupiter right now is, because it's in Aries, it's going to move also to Pisces. So we're going to have, not right now, it's going to be in the continuity, but the Aries right now is exactly that opportunity to check our desire, to check, a lot of times we don't want to try things actually because we're very competitive and we don't want to fail, or we don't want to be humiliated, and we don't think we're going to be the best we can be. So Jupiter right now is telling us, look inside, because Jupiter is about expansion, right? It's going to actually make a great alignment, a trine to the sun on Sunday. So it's also a very, very good energy for us. But it's really there to show me how I can expand, how I can grow, but by looking inside. 1 second, my computer wanted to update all of a sudden. Another thing, so Mars is a big player, and I'm gonna, God willing, I'm gonna do some videos. When I say God willing, I mean God and me, right? It's not, if when I do it, I create it, right? We have to remember that we can manifest anything we want in our lives. So when we say God willing, I mean, it's maybe a way of speech in a way, but even that can be my will. I can create. And if for some reason it doesn't manifest or it doesn't happen, it means that maybe it's not the time, or it's not exactly how it's supposed to be. Okay, that's what's just in parentheses. Mars Mars is a big player this month. We're having a conjunction with Mars, Uranus, and the nodes. That's going to be, it's already, the energy is already there. But the exact alignment is going to be on the first, which is Monday, I believe, right? Um, the 1st of August, and the Mars, and Mars is going to also make a square with Saturn. I'm going to do videos on that. But the thought of Mars, and those energies, that on one hand Mars is about desire and pushing and creating and connecting to what we want, right? Like pushing our desire. But on the other hand, Mars is aligning in a little bit of an aggressive energy right now. And generally, we have to pay attention not to get into any explosion, any arguments. And you'll see it's a pretty intense because of the alignment with the South Node. It actually means a lot of times that we have an opportunity to correct things from previous life, like karmic things. So it's like, if there's a situation that we're in an argument with somebody, even in a war with somebody, or to try to see it really from a different perspective, to think, wait a minute, if I'm correcting right now something that is karma, would I look at it differently? Would I approach it differently? Would I be less upset, maybe? Okay, so it's an important thing to look at. Um, of course, just I'm sure you're gonna hear about it, but the 9th of Av, which is the ninth day in the of the month of Leo. So the actual day is Shabbat, it's like Saturday, but the day that it's actually mentioned is going to be Saturday night into Sunday. And we just want to know that, yes, the 9th of Av is considered, um, it's considered the most negative day of the year, basically. But again, it's not about like thinking of it from the perspective of negativity. It's thinking about it from a perspective of the destruction that happened at that time, happened because of lack of care, lack of love to one another. That's what it's about. So that day, if we want to switch that energy from energy of destruction to energy of building, we just need to remember, because sometimes it's hard. And I think, like with all COVID, a lot of us got so inside and introverted, right? Like, but now everybody's going more out. And yes, but do we remember that our real work on this earth is love thy neighbor as you love yourself? It's hard. But this is really that energy of Leo, and that's really the energy of fixing that negative energy of the 9th of Av, to connect to the understanding that I need to care about the other person because it is a part of me. Because the illusion of the physical reality is that we're separated. But in the big picture, there's no real separation. The illusion, the costumes that we wear on this earth, the ego that we have, that's just for the game that we're playing. That's just for the lessons that we need to learn. But the real purpose of ours on this earth is to remove that and to really care for one another. And this is really what we want to focus on the 9th of Av. Next Saturday night and Sunday during the day until probably like 9 p.m. Okay, that would be the energy. And the more of us think about it and want to see where in our lives we do forget that we're all one, and focus on really asking to become more unconditional, and unconditional love, unconditional care. So the more we do that, the more we can bring the energy of redemption, which is also promised through the energy of Av, of the ninth of Av. So I want to wish, first of all the Leos happy birthday. Have an amazing month. All the other people too that are not Leo, have an amazing month, full of growth, full of love, and of course, think big and dramatic even. Don't be afraid. Thank you, Chodesh Tov.